With 14 seconds left on the clock, Caitlin Clark confidently drained a long-range shot, leaving the crowd in awe. Despite her 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, the Indiana Fever still fell short against the Seattle Storm. The buzz around her incredible performance is undeniable, but why is Coach Christie Sides under fire? Could her controversial decisions be holding the team back? Caitlin Clark's performance has been nothing short of spectacular, and if you've been watching her games, you know exactly what I mean. Just take her latest game, where she put up 15 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, and dished out 7 assists. It's clear that she's not just another player on the court. She's a force to be reckoned with. I was particularly blown away by one moment in that game. There were 14 seconds left on the clock, and Caitlin had the ball. Now, most players would use those precious seconds to set up a play, right? Not Caitlin. She confidently took a long-range shot and nailed it. That kind of confidence is rare, and it's one of the many reasons she's so special. But her talents don't stop at shooting. Another play showcased her versatility and court vision. She grabbed the ball, attacked the paint, and made a behind-the-back pass. If that wasn't impressive enough, she got the ball back and made an even tougher pass to her teammate, setting up an open shot. It was pure magic, and it showed how Caitlin isn't just about scoring. She's about making her whole team better. You can see that her confidence and skills go beyond her shooting. She has this incredible ability to read the game and make quick, smart decisions. It's no wonder she's quickly becoming a sensation in the league. Even when the team isn't doing great overall, Caitlin keeps shining and giving her best on the court. Her adaptability and consistency, scoring over 15 points regularly and adding a good number of assists, are truly remarkable. In that same game against the Seattle Storm, Caitlin hit 3 out of her 7 three-point attempts. That kind of efficiency is impressive for any player, let alone someone transitioning to the WNBA. It's like she's saying to everyone, "I'm here, and I can handle this level of play just fine." She's maintaining that magical long-distance touch we all love, which is fantastic to see. What's even more exciting is her connection with Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin has already delivered 37 assists to Boston this season, which is 6 times more than to the next player in that stat. Their chemistry on the court is incredible and is becoming a powerful weapon for the Fever. It's these kinds of partnerships that can turn a team around, and Caitlin is right at the center of it. Despite all the challenges the team faces, Caitlin Clark continues to show why she's the future of the franchise. She's adapting quickly to professional play and already stands out as one of the team's leaders, both on and off the court. If the rest of the Fever can keep up with her pace and skill, I'm sure we're going to see many more victories ahead. It's an exciting time to be following Caitlin Clark's journey, and I can't wait to see what she does next. The Indiana Fever has been facing some serious struggles lately, and it's becoming more apparent with each game. Their recent performance against the Seattle Storm was particularly troubling. Despite Caitlin Clark's impressive display, the team fell short, and the problems went way beyond the final score. In that game, the Fever allowed the Storm to score a whopping 30 points just in the first quarter. I mean, that's almost unheard of, and a clear indicator of some major defensive issues. It wasn't just the first quarter either. The Fever's defense seemed off the entire game. They couldn't contain Jewel Lloyd, who finished with 34 points, including 6 out of 9 three-pointers. The Fever's defense just couldn't find an answer for her. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You could see the mistakes piling up, and the lack of defensive coordination was painfully evident. Another glaring issue was the turnovers. The Fever committed 20 turnovers in that game, which is handing the ball to the opponent on a silver platter. Even Caitlin Clark, who usually has such good control, had a few slip-ups. It's frustrating to see these errors because they're avoidable and make winning games so much harder. Turnovers lead directly to easy points for the other team, and in a league as competitive as the WNBA, you can't afford to give away possessions like that. But the problems aren't just on the court. Off the court, Coach Christie Sides has made some controversial decisions that have fans scratching their heads. The most talked about move has been the release of Celeste Taylor. a promising defensive player. Taylor was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and seemed like she could help shore up the Fever's defense. Yet, she was cut after playing just 5 games and averaging a mere 3.2 minutes per game. It's hard to understand how anyone can prove their worth with so little time on the court. Fans are understandably furious. Social media has been buzzing with criticism, with many questioning why Taylor was released when the team's defense needs all the help it can get. The explanation from Sides that it was a business decision isn't sitting well with anyone. People are calling it a huge mistake, and some even think it could cost the franchise dearly in the long run. It's not just the decision to release Taylor that's causing concern. There seems to be a lack of a clear plan for integrating new and returning players, like Damiris Dantas. Dantas just rejoined the team, and there's no visible strategy for how she's supposed to fit into the lineup. This kind of uncertainty doesn't help the team build any cohesion or find a rhythm. Critics are also pointing out that Sides hasn't been able to make effective adjustments during games. For example, in their game against the Chicago Sky, the Fever had serious defensive problems in the fourth quarter. They committed numerous fouls and allowed several three-point shots. Sides couldn't make the necessary adjustments to contain the opponent's attack, and it cost them the game. Communication issues have also been highlighted by Sides herself, who admitted that the team needs to improve communication during games and practices to avoid critical mistakes. But the question remains, why is this still a problem at this point in the season? Coach Christie Sides' decision to release Celeste Taylor has been one of the most controversial moves in recent Fever history. Taylor, a promising defensive player and the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, seemed like the perfect fit for a team struggling defensively. Yet, after just 5 games and an average of 3.2 minutes per game, she was cut. Sides called it a business decision, but that explanation hasn't sat well with fans or analysts. The backlash was swift and fierce. Social media lit up with criticism, with many fans expressing their disbelief and frustration. They couldn't understand why a player with such potential, especially in an area where the Fever desperately needed help, was let go. The timing of the decision only added to the confusion, as Taylor's defensive skills could have been crucial in recent games where the team struggled to contain their opponents. Beyond this single decision, there seems to be a broader issue with how new and returning players are integrated into the team. Take Damiris Dantas, for example. She recently rejoined the Fever, but there doesn't appear to be a clear strategy for how she fits into the rotation. This lack of a coherent plan is causing problems on the court, as the team struggles to find a rhythm and build the necessary cohesion to compete effectively. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to be a shining star for the Fever, showcasing her consistent scoring and incredible playmaking abilities. One of the most impressive aspects of her game is her connection with teammate Aaliyah Boston. Clark has already delivered 37 assists to Boston this season, which is 6 times more than to the next player. Their chemistry is evident every time they step on the court, and it's becoming a powerful weapon for the team. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.